Hey.
Howdy, howdy.
How you going, everyone? Fantastic to have yous on the show. Big shout out to Sue and Richard. They're on board.
Yeah, nice and early. Hopefully you guys don't have any internet issues this week.
Oh no, they've been having internet
trouble.
trouble.
Buffering last week and all that with both the shows. So
that's no good.
Watch them later.
Oh, that's no good. But I would like to have a big shout out to my sponsors. Baldwin TRS.
That's until they actually send the invoice, and then you'll be in strife then.
Oh no, I've got to wash the bike, and hopefully Sue won't see too many of the scratches. I did have one off in John McGlone's section. Went over the bars. Well, I didn't quite go over the bars, but I went off. But no, a huge thanks to Sue for loaning me her Electric Start 250 TRS. It was really great to actually ride it because I
actually heard you also made the comment that through the age of getting old, you actually quite enjoyed the Electric Start at one section.
I did actually, and I was saying to everyone, you have to be over 60 to have an Electric Start.
Could be a new regulation.
No, so that's awesome. We had some info from Darren something.
Yes, apparently on the drive home on the weekend, a trailer with 3 bikes lost a black Camelback. So if you're missing one, give Darren a shout out or contact us and we'll connect you and go from there. We
can marry it up.
Yeah.
No worries. Cool. Also, what an awesome weekend. How gorgeous was Sunday.
Oh, it was too hot. Sorry, bring back the rain. That was just ridiculously just glorious.
Just gorgeous. And I noticed, although I didn't camp, I noticed there was quite a lot of campers because it's a gorgeous property to camp.
it was great. Yeah, there was a lot there on the Saturday.
Awesome.
And I think it was actually hotter on the Saturday than the Sunday.
Yeah. Well, speaking of the heat, I reckon there was some pretty hot competition out there.
There was.
I can't help but notice that in Black Plate, Jackson Douglas Peacock went clean for the whole trial.
I know.
And
that's pretty specky.
Yeah, that is awesome to go clean in any trial in any grade. And I won't mention that Jackson beat Frank Walling.
No.
By 3 points. I didn't mention that, did I?
No. It was 5 points actually.
Oh, 5 points.
Yeah, not 3, 5.
No.
So, I'm sure it's good 5.
I noticed on the entries for the TRS 2-day, Frank's entered intro.
Yeah. Oh, don't worry. Mum and Dad have made sure that Jax is in White Plate now, so everyone's fine.
Cool. And great to see Kat Kingsley back having a ride in trials. She had a pretty good ride. And hey, big shout out to Todd Cummings from down Donnybrook Way. Awesome ride to take out Trial 4 in the blue line, first place. So that was great work. And there was a big fight between Martin Smith and Chris Page for equal third.
Yeah.
And Martin picked him on cleans by the sounds of it. And Marco and Vets kicked my butt big time.
And even John Dondon kicked your butt?
Yeah, he wasn't that much.
Right? You've been relegated to third, Simon.
Yeah, that's a bit sad. Don't tell my sponsors that, Jez. Hopefully they didn't see that. And also in Black Plate, Ryan Buttle, who's just new to trials, he had an awesome ride, equal with Brad Smith and with Karen Douglas. So there was a big fight up there, probably a punch up in the car park after that one.
Oh yeah, I could see Karen getting in on that one.
And also great to see good competition in the juniors. Jesse, Jack and Sonny.
Oh, for a moment there, I thought you were talking about me. I was like, oh, man, it would have been
not that, Jesse. Yeah. So good competition there, and also the sidecars, pretty tight comps in amongst them. So great weekend all around.
Yeah, and I see we're also thinking of introducing a new sidecar.
A new sidecar?
Yeah, it's called the Super Sidecar, where you can fit 8 people on the sidecar at the same time.
I saw that picture. Yeah.
Yes, I'll put that one up on socials today. That was hilarious. Thanks to Andy Chalkley's trailer, just parked
in the right spot. Yeah. And it's not like Andy just to pull up and stop in random places, is it?
No.
Actually, I did notice Andy Chalkley stopped on the side of the Brookton Highway on the way home, which is not uncommon for Andy to do that, stop and have a break. So, what are we talking about today, Jess?
We are talking all things steering, head damper that will fix your turning.
Ta-da! How good's that? You've done awesome. Yeah,
I was trying to remember the order it went in.
Yeah, so just to follow on from last week, Wednesday, we talked about triple clamps and stuff like that, which then brought us onto the subject of steering head bearings. So now we're going to try and do some technical stuff here today, and Neil's got a bit of work to switch between cameras and pictures and things like that, so bear with us. So Neil and I are going to have to get our minding and rider communication working again. So
Perfect at the back, just so you know.
But first of all, Neil, if we want to go to the mobile camera first, I thought I might just cover the type of bearings that are in your steering head. Now, to the best of my knowledge, I definitely know that and I probably do know now, the gas and beta steering head bearings are the same, and also a guy got some ones for a Sherco off me, and they were the same also. So all of the main brands would have probably, and even the Montesas would probably have this one as well. But your steering head bearings are basically a cup and cone bearing, what people would call a tapered bearing, and it just sits in there. This part is mounted into your frame in your what they call your headstock, and then you got your bearings there. Now, what you need to do is you'll have two. You'll have a top and a bottom, and you need to put some preload on these. So if you just want to pop back to the main camera, Neil, looks like we're there. So you've got to put pressure on those bearings on your so you don't have any slop for a start, and then you need a certain amount of preload, or some people will use the word dampening, so that
that's where
so your steering is right. Now,
so it actually has nothing to do with being dampening.
No, it's got nothing to do with wet trials. Not that.
To dampen is to wet. Damping.
Yeah. So how do we
make damper?
We spell that DAMPING.
Bear with me 1 second.
Oh, here we go. Neil's going to be onto it. So what I thought we'd do is, first of all, before I go into the amount of preload and all that sort of stuff, first of all, I thought we'd show you the 3 different types of triple clamps you might encounter depending on which bike you've got. So Neil, do you want to go through those 3 photos?
Yep.
So here we are watching the screen. So this first one, so I'll quickly explain this one. You'll see there's a top nut, then you can see there's a slot in the triple clamp, the top triple clamp, and a clamping bolt. And then below the top triple clamp there is a nut.
I thought you were just going to show them. You want to get technical?
No, I'll just explain those 3 things. So that's that. Show us the next one, Neil. And there's another one very similar to that. So I won't talk on. I just got told off for getting too technical. And
yes.
Now the third one.
We could call this Waffly Wednesday.
Waffly Wednesday. So there's a prize for people to identify what the difference was between those 3. No, there isn't. I'll explain that now. So what we'll try and do now, what Neil's going to do is go to each photo. He's going to have to pop it onto the full screen and press a few buttons and do a few things.
I've got it set up so it's all quick and fast.
Okay,
so pick your head stem.
Oh, we could be like Wheel of Fortune.
Let's go back to the TRS one.
Is it going to be the square window, the rectangle window, or the rectangle window?
No, I'm going to really test Neil, because we're going to be swapping around cameras a little bit. So first of all, if we start with the top nut on the triple clamp, Neil will point to that. So that's your top nut on what puts pressure on your triple clamp. Then you've got the actual triple clamp itself, so we'll go down to there. And then if you go down to the nut below, that you have to put a C-spanner on, or as some people do, get a hammer and punch to tighten that up. Now that is the bolt that puts the preload on your steering head bearings. So the first thing you would do is you would loosen the top nut. So point up to the top nut, Neil,
Top
if you're
nut,
doing this
this
one.
one?
Yep,
Right.
that one there. So first thing you do, you would loosen that.
How about we do this?
All
Ready?
right, Neil's going to do it a bit different.
Top
Yeah.
nut.
Yeah,
There you go.
So first of all, you would loosen that top nut. Now, often to do this, sometimes you have to actually remove your handlebars, depending on what sort of spanners and tools you've got. Okay. Then the next trick really is, if you want to come back to the main camera, Neil. This will be testing him, Jess. So now this
Really, I thought it would be testing you
this
more than anything.
it's a bit test. Now this one is an enduro. I pulled it off an enduro bike. It was easy to get. But your trials bike's the same, although most of them are around the front. The next step would be to loosen your triple clamp bolts here on your fork legs. All right, so do that. So now we'll go back to the picture now. So then you'd get your castle, your C spanner, and put some preload on your steering head bearings. Now, the question will be, people will ask me, well, how much pressure do I put on the steering head bearings? Now, the old rule of thumb we used to do, I remember this on the old TY, is you'd have it sitting up on the stand, you put enough preload on it, tilt your wheel until it starts to flow, and it would hit the stops and bounce once. And we used to go, oh, the rule of thumb is one bounce, right? But it's one of those feel things. Now, if you've got your bearings too loose, not enough preload, then it's just going to just flop around. You don't want too much preload that you're actually dragging the bike around. You're not doing desert racing, so you don't need a whole heap of preload. I mean, desert racers actually put steering dampeners on their bikes, like shock absorber type of things. So you just want it to be nice and comfortable to steer without any extra drag, but you don't want it really
Loose.
twitchy and loose, I suppose is the right word, because when you're riding through sections, you don't want to be clipping a bike and clipping a rock
You
and
don't want it to be
flicking around
sloppy.
like that. So it's a little bit of a feel. It's hard for me to explain how much pressure I would put on, but the old rule of thumb was one bounce. So that's a thought to do there. So once you've got the correct preload, and we'll pop back to this thing, to the picture. So basically, once you've got the correct preload, then what you do is you tension down the top nut. Once you tension down your top nut, just double check that you haven't applied any more pressure to the steering head bearing. Just check that you're happy with the dampening. Once you're happy with that and that nut is tight, then tighten up your bolts on your triple clamps around your fork legs, these, and then go back to that top nut and just do another quick tweak. And then that's how you do that one. Now if we go to, you can pick the next photo, Neil.
Oh, it's like Tinder or something. You've got to
Okay.
swipe
Yes,
left or
right,
right.
right.
Neil picked a good photo here with this one, the black one. Now, it's the same rule of thumb as that we used for the last one that I just explained, except you got to loosen that bolt that you can see there that Neil's pointing to now. So you've got to loosen that, go through the same processes I've just explained about loosening the top nut, loosening your triple clamp bolts around your fork legs, putting your preload on your steering head bearing using your C spanner, and then going back through that process of tensioning the top nut.
Oh, now you get a bit too fancy here, Neil.
Once you're happy with your preload, tension your top nut, you're happy with the preload.
So this nut actually puts the load on the bearing,
Yep,
and then this nut puts the load of the triple clamp down onto
that nut. Yep, that's correct.
and that retains it in place.
Yep, that's right. And then so you nip that bolt up basically last, in reality, and then another quick nip on the top nut. So that's the process for that one. Now if we go to the third one, this one's a little bit different. Now you'll notice with this one, Neil, if you can point where there isn't a nut that you would put your C spanner on. So you notice there's no nut there to put preload on the bearings.
Is the bearing seal cap there.
Yeah, but there's no actual nut to tighten it there. So the only way you can put steering dampening on this one is to tighten down that top bolt. So to do that, you first of all you need to loosen that bolt that's sitting in the triple clamp there. Loosen your bolts on your triple clamp that clamp your fork legs, and then you tighten down that nut until you get
that one at the top.
the one at the top to get your correct preload.
Until it's not too loose, it's not too
too
right.
tight.
It's Kellogg's just right.
Was that a paid promotion?
Yeah. Is this a breakfast show or
Well,
what?
it could be. Well, you're waffling on, so between waffles and just right, well,
Yes.
why not?
Have I ever waffled? Hey, unbelievable.
We're learning.
So if we go back to that picture, so that's the difference between the earlier photos we showed you. So you can see there are 3 different types. So once you got your correct preload, you just reverse the process as I've explained before.
And so having this done correctly is what will help you in how to turn properly.
Yeah,
Or not necessarily properly, but better.
Yeah, what it'll do, it'll stabilise your turning. The last thing you want is a really free and easy playing steering head bearings.
You were thinking of the right word to use then.
Yeah, I was trying to think of the right word. So when you're going into your turns, you don't want it to be twitchy.
Yep.
But you don't want any drag.
You don't want it to be too stiff.
Yeah.
As I said, not too loose, not too light or tight.
Just right.
Yeah, someone wants to know where Goldilocks is to join for breakfast.
Yeah, so I hope that's helpful to you. How are we going for time, Jess?
Oh, it is 12:16.
Woo!
So, you got 14 minutes
just
to go.
before you go too much further,
Here we go, Neil's.
I'd actually like you to take a step back for a second.
Oh, hang on. We're sitting down. How can we step backwards?
What, are we supposed to look at the screen? Where are we looking?
Just
What
a
are we
sec.
doing?
You guys can look to the screen in a sec.
We can look to the camera.
Keep talking. Go on. What are you doing?
We'll keep
I'll
talking.
set it up.
While Neil's setting that up, I just reiterate some of our earlier shows. You remember when we were out in the workshop and we actually showed people how to remove steering head bearings?
Yes.
And I explained to people that your top triple clamp, your top steering head bearing is generally the first one to go.
Yeah.
The reason for that is because the water will come in the top, and because it's a cup, it kind of sits in there, and the water sits in there. And if the bike's been sitting there with water in it, you end up with rust pits on that. And that's why sometimes after the season, the end of the season, if you wash your bike, put your bike in the shed and leave it for 3 months and then pull it out again, you'll find that your steering head is actually seized. And they can actually seize. So that's the reason why. Now, the bottom one sits like that, of course. So what does the water do? The water just runs out the bottom. So generally, it's the top one's the first problem. And that's just the reason for that. So you set up to step backwards, Neil?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
So,
here we go. We're stepping back in time.
to camera 2,
Okay.
and this is for you guys.
Oh,
To
yeah.
dampen is the act of making something slightly wet. Dampening and damping is a reduction in the amplitude of an oscillation as a result of energy being drained from the system to overcome frictional or other resistive forces.
I don't think we clued in today for that technical explanation.
I trust you've all got that because that'll be in your test at the end of the year.
Oh, I'm glad we know that we're doing a test. Oh, thank God I'm not involved in that.
Ah, dearie me. So,
that's not
what
the...
have we got? That's not the show. Here we go.
There we are.
So what are we going to do next, Jess? What bikes have we got? There we go. There's a
We've
job
got
for
lots
you.
with 2 wheels.
Yeah.
They come with handlebars
Good.
and steering
Yep.
head dampening.
Yep.
But we have gases in stock. That 300 is still looking for a lovely home.
Oh yeah, we got the last of the 2020 specials.
Yep.
Brand new, still in the
new
box.
and-
Still in the box. 8995.
8995 for a brand new bike. That is a bargain.
Oh yeah, I don't think we'll ever see prices like that again. But
No.
old COVID and everything included.
Definitely. And then we've got the lovely Beta 250 2020.
Oh yeah, that's a nice one.
Is wanting a lovely home. And again, we've got another 250 Beta. but a 2013
13.
model.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah. And the 2020, which is an excellent condition, is 8,490.
Yep.
That one. The 213 we haven't priced yet. It's going through the workshop.
Yep.
Getting all tidied up, so that hasn't been priced yet. But,
And then, as again, we've got all the 2022 models coming through. So
starting to get
you would have
pictures.
Yep. Last week I did beta. This week I'm hoping to get the gases up.
Yep.
And yeah, go from there.
Awesome. And I think the gases will be here first.
Yep.
Yeah, as physically available first, I reckon. Yeah.
Nice.
And TRS, plenty of stock of TRSs
Yep.
around with electric starts.
Oh yes.
Yeah. And
For all those that want to save their kickstarting leg, whichever
that's
side
right.
that is, it's the right, isn't it?
And it's interesting. There's a few Vertigos landing in WA too. And a couple of new riders on them, and loving them. They are something else. So.
And then products, Simon.
Products. We've got quite a lot of protectors in stock. So your fork legs, your frame protectors, swing and arm protectors. If you want to try and maintain the resale value of your bike, not try to get too many scratches on it. The other thing we thought we'd just mention, if you didn't know, obviously we supply oils, everything you need for trials anyway. So obviously we supply oils and stuff. But you can pre-order. We'll put it in a bag for you, put your name on it, and it'll be sitting there ready for you.
And that's just
at a
not
trial.
for oils. That's for all parts and accessories.
That's
just,
anything.
Yeah. Shoot us a message beforehand, and we'll get it all ready.
Yeah. Or you can come and pick it up if you need to, whatever the case may be. Or we can freight it out to you, mail it out to you. So that's no problem. But I'd also mention we've got a reasonable number of tyres in stock. State championships coming up. Quite often I get a bit of run on tyres.
Yep.
So we've got a few X11s and a few lights and some fronts in stock. I'm not sure how much is in the wholesalers. But anyway, I thought I'd just mention that if you're inclined to put a new tyre on for the States.
Nice.
And
those, just mentioning as well, the registration for the States have actually opened as well.
They? Yeah, awesome.
Yeah. So
get your entries in for the States. Yeah.
Yep, at Woodendale Road, which is a nice property,
Oh,
great for
gorgeous.
walking as well.
Yeah. Yep.
Really good for spectators and riders.
And the Woodendale Road actually has changed owners.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so there's a little bit of a change there because the guys put a fence through the gate, fence through the paddock. That paddock that we normally ride in is actually 1,000-acre paddock, just one big paddock.
Wow.
So the new owner has actually split it up a bit, but it's chopped out a bit that we used to use, but there's still ample for a state championship, according to the legend Leo. So,
nice. Looking forward to that one.
Yeah. So what's our next event?
We've got the TRS 2-day this weekend for AJS.
Well, I better lift my game then, eh?
You better. And it's going to be a great one because it actually starts 2 o'clock Saturday afternoon.
Oh, yeah,
so just remember that, peeps. 2 o'clock, so you can have your Saturday morning
shopping,
sleep in,
or
whatever
go
you
down
want
the
to do.
cappuccino strip or whatever.
Yep. Mosey down through to 2J, but camping is available from Friday night.
Yep.
And then Sunday is your normal trial.
Full trial.
Yep.
And of course you know if you can't make it Saturday, you can still come and ride the Sunday.
Yep.
That's no problem. And speaking of coffee, having a cuppa, you're always welcome to come to the MD trailer.
Yep, the kettle's
Jess
always
has
on.
Always got
I'll
the kettle
now
on.
be permanently there for at least the next 12 months. So
No, you're not 12 months.
yeah.
You're going to be riding next
They
season.
say 12 months for rehabilitation.
Really?
Yes.
You're kidding me.
Yes.
God.
At least minimum 9 months.
Ah, well, I recommend don't do your knee then, because I'm not going to not ride for 12
But
months.
I think kickstarting a motorcycle was good rehabilitation.
Yeah, I reckon.
So yes, but I'll find that all out next Friday when we see the surgeon.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to become Dickie Knee.
You could be. Oh, I was going to say something, and I was like, no, that might not be appropriate.
This is a family show, Jack. And I actually, I heard, unfortunately, Chris Lush's missus, what's her name?
Hannah.
Hannah, is it?
Yes.
She had a bit of an incident with her knee. So we hope she's going well.
Yeah.
So a shout out to her. Hope she recovers well as well.
Definitely.
No worries. No, awesome. other than that,
Yep.
I think that's it for me. And
That's it from me.
yeah, unbelievable. And I think we've almost finished before
you
my
are
buzzer gone off.
6 minutes before.
That's unbelievable.
I know.
And you were saying that I rabbit on too much.
You do. But I've got to say, Simon Thomas is looking forward to the veterans battle at the States this round.
Awesome, Simon. Now, it's all your fault I came third, because without the pressure of trying to beat you, I was a bit slack. So it's all your fault I came third at the last trial.
Well, I don't know why you just didn't strap Sophia on in the baby carry and just ride the trial. That sounds normal.
That was
you could
true.
have the father and daughter class.
No worries. Any other feedback I need to abuse people about?
No.
All good. No, great stuff. Okay, people, great to have you on board on the show. We look forward to seeing you at the next trial. Feed up, and that's it.
That's it.
Ciao. See you
Catch
later.
you later.
Bye. That was awesome. Good work.